incompatibility between Judaism and Zionism. Many Jews believe, wrongly, that Zionism is either part of Judaism or is compatible with Judaism or is even the main part of Judaism. All of those are actually false. Zionism was created to negate Judaism. Zionism was created to replace Judaism. According to Zionism, Jewish identity is political. It's national. According to Judaism, Jewish identity is completely religious. A Jew, by definition, is somebody who accepted the Jewish religion or who is defined as a Jew by the Jewish religion. According to Zionism, Jewish identity is political, and it's defined the same way we define the identity of any nationals, like a Frenchman or a Canadian. According to Judaism, Jewish identity is centered only around God and God's teachings, nothing else. According to Zionism, Jewish identity is centered around a nation state, which they randomly decided is the nation state that was created in 1948 that they call Israel. According to Judaism, a Jew is supposed to have certain character traits. He's supposed to eschew violence. He's supposed to oppose violence. He's supposed to be disgusted by violence. Even in the olden days when Jews had to defend themselves, that was considered nothing to glorify. Jews don't have military heroes. We have religious heroes. Our heroes are the righteous. Our heroes are the scholars. The heroes of the Zionists are the war heroes. The Jews have no national sites where wars took place, such as the Alamo in America. Jews are not militant. Jews are religious. Jews are, the way the Bible describes us, a nation of priests and a holy people. If people want to retain their Jewish identity, if they want to resist the propaganda that is churned out by Zionists and Zionism every day, then it is vital that they take proactive steps to defend themselves against it. Look, the Zionist propaganda is everywhere.
So this is right and wrong. He's right that
in the world that speaks for the Jewish people, that is the Jewish country, and every single country in the world is to us, as far as countries are concerned, no more Jewish than Ukraine. There's only one country in the world, and that claims to be the nation state of people that are not its citizens, that never were its citizens, don't plan on being its citizens. It means two things. If Israel would be the country of the Israelis, that means whether you're Jewish or not, Israel's your country. But because Israel claims that it's the state of the Jews, not the Israelis, you can be an Israeli citizen, but there's a nation-state law that says that national self-determination rights only apply to the Jews. That means, A, if you are an Israeli citizen, but you're not Jewish, Israel is not your nation-state. Two, it means that if you are a Jew, such as myself, who does not live in Israel, I'm not an Israeli citizen, my father's family is from Poland, on my mother's side they're from England and Russia. This means that Israel claims, because I'm born Jewish, that Israel is my state. And that's absolutely not true. I have nothing to do with some country in the Middle East.
So his point here is that having this...
The idea that Jews are a nationality, a form of idol worship. Somebody who's a Zionist, who's also an Orthodox Jew, is no different than the Orthodox Jews in biblical times who worshipped the Baal, who were religious Jews that also worshipped idols. Yeah. They are religious idol worshippers. If he believes that the state of Israel is the state of the Jews, the nation of the Jews, yes, that's idol worship, no question about it.
If you believe that Israel...
Incredible propaganda machine. Incredible. You know, to the Jews, they say, well, you have to support Israel, otherwise all the Jews are going to die. They're either going to be brought into concentration camps. Everybody's a Hitler. Hitler lurks around every corner. And if not for Israel, Hitler would be back tomorrow in every country, everywhere. And of course, in Israel, all the terrorists would just come and destroy all the Jews and kill all the Jews. If you ask them that the Jews and Muslims lived in peace for over 1,000 years, and why is it suddenly now that the Muslims these guys allegedly hate Jews? Clearly, and suddenly want to kill them? Clearly, it's Zionism that's the problem. It's not Islam, and it's not Muslims against Jews. That's the main thing we have to tell people. It's a political thing. It's Israel. It's not the Jews. The more Jews and the more non-Jews tell the Zionists, no, Israel is the state of the Israelis. There may be many Jews who support Israel, and there are many Jews who are Democrats, but there are Jews who are Republicans too. And being a Jew and being a Zionist is not the same thing at all. Being a Jew and being Israeli is not the same thing. And the conflict is between the Israelis and the Palestinians, not between the Jews and the Palestinians. It has nothing to do with being Jewish. It's a political conflict that needs a political solution.
So here he has a interesting thing, and I got to...
By Shapiro, is anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism synonymous?
No, that's, may I say, it's stupid. That's exactly what it is. It's absolute nonsense. It's very simple. First of all, Zionism is not Judaism, and even if Zionism was Judaism, if somebody doesn't like my religion, it doesn't make him an anti-Semite. There are plenty of religions that I don't like. There are probably certain religions that you don't like. If I don't like somebody's religion, that doesn't make me a hater.
He says anti-Zionism, you could be anti-Zionist, but just because you're...
That's the goyim. We're not allowed. By the way, your question about the Maccabim is a very good question, but number one, the less important answer is that wasn't during Golus. We had a Beis HaMikdash then. We were not in Golus. Remember Hanukkah, the menorah? So we had a Beis HaMikdash. But much more importantly, what's really relevant is something that the Chafetz Chaim didn't say, which is Nageya, what you're asking. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of Klal Yisrael. There was, on Hanukkah, when they made Gezeirus, there was not one Jew in danger. Not a single Jew was in danger. If the Jews wanted, they could have avoided a war, and not a single Jew would have been hurt. You know what they could have done? Well, it said, what did the Greeks want? We should abandon the Torah. If the Jews would have abandoned the Torah, not one Jew would have been hurt. The Jews were not in danger. When they threatened the Jews and they said, if you Mekayim the Torah, will kill you, they didn't want to kill us. They wanted us to not be Mekayim the Torah. Right? If I tell you, if you rob somebody's house, I'll put you in jail. It's not that I want to put you in jail. I want you not to rob anybody's house. All we could have said is, no problem, we won't keep the Torah. Then everybody would have been safe. The Jews were not being attacked. The Torah was being attacked. Here's the rule. When the Jews are attacked, like on Purim, where Achashverosh did not say, Haman did not say, I want you not to do the Torah. He said, we want to kill you. Then they ran to Hashem. They were mispalel for 3 days. Afterwards, when the Gezerah was over, and with the permission of Achashverosh, we weren't fighting the Goyim, we were fighting with Achashverosh against, with his full permission. We weren't fighting against governments. We were fighting with the full permission on behalf of Achashverosh. Hold on, he gave us permission. That's a different story. But
When I go before.
One thing at a time. But where the Torah is attacked, and not the Jews, then we fight for Hashem, not for us. When we're attacked, we follow this. When Hashem is attacked, then we fight for Hashem. Hashem protects the Jews, and the Jews protect the Torah. That's the rule. By the way, by Hanukkah, it says in the El Hanisim, on respirators. Nobody made a special mishaber for the Jews in Ukraine, and there's no reason to make a special mishaber for anybody.
This is an interesting thing. Do we make or don't we make a mishaber?
These shalosh shvuos are halachas that nobody disagrees with. There's no shita in the Gemara or anywhere that disagrees with them. Sharei Reb Yehuda b'soif ksuva shechidish es halacha she'af yochid osol alois lomdu mela hashvuos. We learned the Gemara, right? And the Gemara says that Reb Yehuda considered it also to go to Eretz Yisrael from Bavel because of the Sholosh Shvuos. Then, for Reb Zera shecholak al Reb Yehuda b'halacha zu, but we know Reb Zera disagreed with Reb Yehuda in this halacha. So the Gemara asks, what does Reb Zera hold? Now the Gemara doesn't answer, well, Reb Zera doesn't hold from the Sholosh Shvuos. Gemara could have answered that. That was very available to the Gemara. The Gemara could have said, for some reason, Reb Zera holds they're not halacha l'maisa. We don't hold like them. The Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara says, no, Reb Zera has a different shot in the Shvuos. Torchu sham b'Gemara liyashev u'lefarish ha'Shvuos gam ali bei. Then the Gemara says, how does Reb Zera explain the Shvuos if he doesn't hold like Reb Yehuda? So he has to say it's talking only on the Rabbim, not on the Yochid. But for sure, it's clear from the Gemara that there's no chaylik on the Shvuos. Alma, you see from there, it's clear that nobody disagrees, and it's not even possible to say that anybody disagrees with the Shvuos, because if there would be, then the Gemara wouldn't be asking back and forth, what does Rabbi Yehuda hold, what does Rabbi Zera hold, how does this one explain the Shvuos, how does that one explain the Shvuos? Ela kule alma moidi, everybody agrees. Behu to hilchas arabsin inhu, that there are klar halachas, boinish chamu marach monolitzlan. The Gemara says that Reb Yehuda learns out from a pasuk. He learns out from a pasuk that you're not allowed to go from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. What is that if not halacha? Then the Gemara says, what about Reb Zera? Besides that, it asked Reb Yehuda to go. What about Reb Zera? Right? Well, Reb Zera holds that Yochid is allowed to go, but the whole thing, klar, that these are halachas, but the Satmar Rebbe here is addressing a different thing. He's addressing the shaila as to whether anybody disagrees with them. That the halach is nothing to discuss. Under the circumstances that unfolded, that the Arabs objected, it was not a peaceful assent, there was a war of independence where 6,000 Jews were killed. What Adam Godel said that that's permitted. I wrote in my book, B'Shem Rav Henkin, that the taina that people who Matad creating the Medina had was, well, the Goyim violated their shvuah. The third shvuah was that the Goyim should not oppress the Jews yosemidai. So if they violated theirs, we're allowed to violate ours. But he says that Rubin, the Gedolei Yisrael, didn't hold like that. We had the Chuvas Reb Eliezer Gordon way before the Satmar Rebbe wrote Vayol Moshe. Way before the Satmar Rebbe wrote Vayol Moshe. He said that Mizrachist, he said, what do you mean? The whole thing, the Shalosh Shvuos asked the whole thing. The Rebbe Rashab of Lubavitch in the Orla Yisharim, he said, what do you mean? There's a Shalosh Shvuos, it asks the whole thing. Who in the world wanted such a thing?
You know, people don't know these inyanim, and they hear